Hello everyone and welcome to iTV, that is a video series created under the project Cutting Edge, where we have discussions with various industry experts. And here with me today is the IIT alumni panel discussion. I'm Amira Rasmin and I'm honored to moderate this discussion with two of our former Cutting Edge chairs, Sahani Piris, Chair of Cutting Edge 2021, and Thivyan Karuneswaran, Chair of Cutting Edge 2022. Today we'll delve into their experiences, insights, and the evolution of this prestigious event. Hello, both of you.
Hello.
Could you briefly introduce yourselves and tell us about your background and your involvement with Cutting Edge?
Yes, hi everyone, I'm Sahani Piris. I was the Cutting Edge Chair for 2021, as Amira said, but my history with Cutting Edge is very long. It started when I first joined IIT as a foundation student, and I was a compeer back then when it was held at BMICH, and then 2018 I was a part of the radio show. If most of you all might not know, iTV was IFM for the longest time, and the year after that I was the design head because we had it at IIT because of the situation of the country, and we did a whole bunch of scientific design for the inside of IIT at the Ramakrishna building. And 2020 I was the comparing lead, and 2021 the chair. So that is my background in Cutting Edge.
Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Thivyan Karuneswaran. So again, just like what Sahan said, even I was involved with Cutting Edge from the initial days at IIT. So I have been I have put my products in the exhibition. I have been a host in the programs, and I've also been a part of iTV, the organizing committee, and also I was the chair of Cutting Edge 2022.
Thank you for those introductions. Let's dive into your experiences. What was your vision for Cutting Edge when you chaired the event, and how did you aim to achieve it?
My vision for Cutting Edge was for it to go as smoothly as possible, because this is an event that has many moving parts. We have an academic committee and we have a students committee, and in my year we had a gaming competition, a coding competition, and like so many different things that were going on. And like my responsibility that I took on was to make sure that everything there were no issues and just went properly. And as easy as that sounds, it's not so easy. My year was virtual because it was in the middle of COVID. So we had a different experience, but I brought in my experience from 2020, which was also virtual, but we didn't have the exhibition and things like that. So the main focus was iTV. And I think it went well. It was one of I'm obviously biased, but I think it was one of the best Cutting Edges.
Yeah, so to talk about my vision, so first of all, I wouldn't lie that I had a plan and I know what's going to happen first and I know what's going to happen next, not really. So one thing about Cutting Edge is if you plan, you're basically planning to fail. So what I saw in organizing the Cutting Edge was that first thing is I was very confident that I can make a great set of friends out of it, because this is not that many of the events have the collaboration of all the students in IIT. Okay, there are different departments, there are different degree programs, but this is one such project where all the students from all the departments come together to make it a success. So my vision was basically to, again, just as Sahani said, to carry on this whole process smoothly, but also I wanted to make some memories. So I made, there was a lot of fun things involved, and we made a lot of memories, and I feel like that's, at the end of the day, that's what we are taking home.
Definitely. So looks like there have been so many challenges and obstacles, and amidst all of them, they have organized successful Cutting Edge events. So would you be able to elaborate on some of the significant obstacles that you faced when you had to host Cutting Edge virtually?
One thing was that we had a lot of restrictions at the time about the number of people that could be in a room at the same time, and about wearing masks and sanitizer and things like that. I remember we wore the big flasks on our face, so when we came in for the one day that we did the final recordings and whatever, things like that. And we had to get permission from the whatever authority to even have the event in the first place. So then there were like a lot of things, because we were mostly under curfew in 2021, right? So there were a lot of things that wouldn't have usually come into play in a regular cutting edge in that year. Yes, and then of course, handling people virtually and coordinating virtually is not the easiest thing as well. But it just ended up being us like on calls from morning to night, and that was another bonding experience. And as Tivian said, these kind of things, they are mostly bonding experiences more than anything else. Yes, you gain a lot for yourself and your professional development, but at the end of the day, it's a memory that you create with a lot of people.
True. I would agree with Sahani, and if you talk about the challenges in my year, it's basically, I would say, cutting edge itself is a challenge. All right, it's all nice and glory when you see it online or when you go to an exhibition and see, but there's a lot of hard work involved. There are a lot of sleepless nights involved. Even like, I'm pretty sure the computer today, she would have also practiced a lot, right? Because there's going to be camera and you have to be very focused. But what I see as a challenge in cutting edge is mainly coordinating the people, because you are going to coordinate different kinds of people. There are sponsors, there are lecturers, there are students, and then there are participants and there are even third-party people, like the ones who are giving you all equipments. So there's a lot of people who are involved, and you should make sure that you put up your bright face to them so that all the dealings inside will go smoothly. And the other thing was that just like I have to say that I made a lot of friends, there were instances where I also had to face issues, because at the end of the day in a room, not everyone will have the same opinion. You might have one opinion, another person will have another different opinion. But at the end of the day, what matters is that how we all are trying to come to a conclusion, and how are you all taking the decision. So it's a bit of a learning curve. And this was one such event which actually made me think whether I have the leadership potential to actually run this show, because starting from day one, there were you won't expect the issues, when you go to a sporting event, what kind of issues to expect, right? If you're participating in a sport, this might happen. If you're participating in rugby, you might get a leg injury, you might get a sprain. But cutting edge is not like that. You never know where the problem is going to come from and where, who's going to make it. But at the end of the day, what is important is that you have to solve that problem to make the event a success. So the whole experience is filled with challenges, but a roller coaster ride won't be entertaining if there was no challenges, right?
How did you and your teams get to work together to overcome all of these challenges and issues that you all faced?
I think I'll answer it in the way that why we didn't have as many challenges as I know that other years did, right? Because I had worked in a lot of different clubs at IIT, and I knew the people that would work well, and I knew what their hobbies were, what they really liked to engage in, and what they would be good at. So when I went about allocating people for certain roles, I made sure that it would be something they would enjoy, something they would get out of it, and something they could do really well. So because of that, it went smoothly, because gaming competition lead was a gamer who loved doing that all the time anyway. A coding competition was someone who had already organized coding competitions and was really comfortable with this, because he had done code sprint, so it was easy for him. And just different things like that. Even iTV was people who were good with people, because they had to be good with people to be able to invite them in and things like that. Yes.
Right. So if you were to ask me, so I know maybe most of the people who are watching this might not know, but if you were in the organizing committee of Cutting Edge, you know that every week there will be a weekly call with the lecturers as a whole. I'm not sure whether it's still happening, but back in the years and back in even in your year, there was always a call. So I planned everything for a very short term. So if I survived one call, I want to survive for the next call. That was basically my ideology, because there are a lot of people working for Cutting Edge, and the other thing is everyone have their own game to play. All right. So Cutting Edge is something that we do additional apart from what we normally do. So there is a certain potential or certain capacity for people to work in a project of this state. So my job there was to identify the capacity of people, and wherever there is an issue, or there is when they need some manpower, or when they need some equipment or whatever, it was my duty to make sure that they have their resources in place, so that their operations are not getting stuck. So this was basically, so what we did was the major, like why I mentioned about that lecturer's call was that everything was smooth except for that call. Okay, so every time when that call happens, there is some problem. So I actually thought of different ways how to tackle it. So I couldn't actually think of one. So what I did was, so I remember it was every Thursday at around 7 in the night. So from 7 to 8 was that call. So what we do was, what we did actually was, we started a call somewhere on the same day, Thursday, from 4 to 6, where we plan what are we going to tell. So it's like this. I can say something because what I saw was there when people talk about different things, like all these committees are interrelated, right? So maybe you might be giving a solution to one committee, but at the same time it might affect another committee. So we tried to have a call winding up what we had worked on for the week, and to make sure that we present it in a very neat way so that everyone in the call can consume it well. And it actually helped. So I would say planning is the main thing which played a major role in overcoming all the problems. But also I would say it's the people's attitude towards working. Because luckily, even in my batch, everyone who worked, they loved working. So these are the people who were actually working on various projects since day one. So, and they were exactly allocated to what they do at their best. So it was easy, and it was also like, they know what to do. It's just that we have to give the basic guidelines and they'll pick it up from there. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
To add to that, Tivian, the weekly call thing was started in my year. Right. Because the year before, I'm the problem. Because before that, in 2020, these calls started towards the end of the planning process, right? So by that point, all of these problems had piled up. Yes. So when they were bringing it to the academic staff, they were like, why didn't you tell us this earlier? Like, we have so many things, like we have so little time to get all of this done. So what I did was, from day one, I presented like every single committee's like progress, and that's how those started. And I think it was a good platform to like communicate what was really going on, right? Yeah. Because it's not just a student side event. Cutting Edge is an academic event. It involves everyone. It involves all the moving parts of IIT, and there are so many of them, especially more now, I think. And yeah, so yeah, that's how the call, but it was always quite like smooth and made sure that it's always like diplomatic, no matter what happened. Yeah.
So I hope our ITV viewers would be inspired and motivated to join organizing committees and organize more events in the future. So participation in Cutting Edge can be a transformative experience for students. How do you all believe that participating in Cutting Edge has influenced the students' academic and professional journeys?
Right. I would like to take that question first. So what I think is that most of the students here at IIT are naturally gifted. I would say, like, even in your first year, you will know that the moment you step your foot in the first year or in the foundation, there is some kid in the class who is really good at what they are teaching, right? There are good coders. There are people who have already built an app even before coming to even before coming to IIT, right? So you come across a lot of individuals like this. So even in my year, there were a lot of people like that. And what they needed was a platform to showcase their talent. So everyone, so even like, you can be a very talented person, but a talented person without a stage is no one. So I see cutting edge as that stage which actually helps everyone to showcase their talents and skills. And this is why I think that this cutting edge is actually influencing a lot on everyone's life. Because imagine you, when you go to a, so I'll be very frank, all right? So you might be, when you started your education, you might be in a school. So until grade 5, you have certificates which you have won. Must be sports or must be some clubs or speech or whatever, but you might have some certificates. And then until O level, you might participate in some other competitions, you will have certificates. And then in A level, you will be handling some club or society or sport in your school, and you will have necessary recognition. But this particular streak comes to an end when you join a university, back in the days. I'm not talking about now, back in the days, because there was very limited opportunity for people to actually showcase their talent. Okay, so for most of the people in IIT, their first ever certificate which they got from IIT was from Cutting Edge. So I feel like this is the first ever motivation they'll get towards what they are doing. They can be a coder, they can be a gamer, they can be a a person who's good at organizing, whatever it is. The first ever recognition a person could get in their first year itself is a certificate from Cutting Edge. So you might be thinking that certificates are not worth for anything. But like when someone see you, they will think, okay, this person was he's a very extrovert and he has done a lot. But what happened to him after joining university? Why did it stop? So most of the time, the reason is because the university is not being able to provide a stage for the student to shine from the first year. Maybe somewhere down in the line in the third year or fourth year, they'll be in charge of a club and they will be doing something inspiring. But what is going to set the first step to that? So I feel like Cutting Edge is one of those events which ignites. So if you all have studied chemistry, they have this word called catalyst. So catalyst, I see the whole process of Cutting Edge as a catalyst towards a very inspirational journey of an individual.
Yeah, I think that there are opportunities when you look for them, and a lot of people get very comfortable when they come to university and they don't necessarily go for the opportunities that are presented to them, and when they don't, over time they become stagnant. So for me personally, if I didn't go in as a compeer in my foundation year, I wouldn't have known that I was a compeer. I wouldn't have known that I had communication abilities like that were quite, that I could comfortably speak to somebody and like host things. And there were so many different skill sets that I unlocked just by going for that one thing. And like Thivian talked about the academic side of like going in with a cutting edge project, but I would like to talk about the extracurricular things, by supporting the cutting edge project, by doing the organizing things, because that is mainly what I did. Yes, I had projects and things like that too, but it's the organizing is also something that brings so much of skills about so when I was in second year, I had to handle fourth year batch, which was, right now it's not a very intimidating thing, but at the time it was very intimidating because the batches were very different, right? The culture in IIT was different. And that was a whole different experience, learning to navigate those kind of people and responsibilities. That was a whole different experience that I carry with me to this day. And then even when we consider my year as chair, that was the year that I really truly realized the value of resource allocation, right? And how valuable the right asset can be in the right place. Because I have seen how things can be when they're wrongly placed. And that is again something that you will carry forward into your industry, because those are things that you need in any kind of industry that you would go into. Another thing is that I'm not sure if this culture is still there at IIT, but back in the day, we would all get together, even if we had an assignment, we would all get together in the lobby area at Ramakrishna Road and do it together. We would make sure that until 12 we were sitting there and finishing the assignment, submitting, all of us had submitted, and we would leave. And Cutting Edge, working towards a common goal, projects like this, they are a good window into something like that, into building a culture. And post-COVID, it's been difficult for a lot of places to get back into the culture that they had pre-COVID, right? And Sri Lanka is not just a post-COVID. We had petrol crisis and we had Easter attacks and so many different problems that we all went through as a community. But you have to make yourself available for these opportunities to be able to get anything out of it. And in like maybe 2-3 years time, the culture will be back and everything will be okay, because people are actively going for these things, going for these opportunities, and you will make the maximum out of your experience in university if you do that. And that is what I strongly believe.
CuttingEdge has come a long way amidst all these challenges, the fuel crisis, amidst COVID and all of them. How has this event evolved over the past few years, and what key changes or improvements have been made when you look back from the years that you all were the chairs of CuttingEdge?
The main change that has been made is, of course, IFM to ITV. I remember, so my sister was an alumni of IIT as well. So when she was doing CuttingEdge back in the day, I would tune in to listen to IFM from like a little phone that had radio frequencies, just so I could maybe like hear her. And then now that has changed into ITV, and like maybe a lot of people wouldn't even know that IFM was like what started it in the first place. And from when I was there to now, the main difference is that obviously the batches are much bigger. The buildings are much bigger. And the exhibitions are probably much bigger as well. And we have to see how CuttingEdge goes this year to really tell the difference, I think.
Yeah, from my end, what I think is, first I have to begin with, I would like to take the glory of changing IFM to ITV. It was our batch.
No.
It was our batch.
No, it wasn't.
I have proof if you want.
2020.
No, because it was not branded as ITV at that time. It was still, even in your 2021 CuttingEdge, it goes as IFM organizers. And from our year only, they started using the word ITV. So it was basically, it was online, but it was never called ITV. It was called IFM. And it was in our year, we changed this whole IFM to ITV, because I still remember it was one of my secretaries. So she was like, why are we still calling this IFM? Which is a valid question. So I actually was like, yeah, we should change it. And we actually got together, we had a plan, and then we switched IFM to ITV, and that's how the word ITV was born. It's all about the branding, right? At the end of the day, ITV was ITV from 2020, but no one called it as ITV until we named it as ITV in 2022.
It was used interchangeably because we came from ITV.
You told ITV, yeah. We in your batch, you all used the word ITV, but everything on the labels went as IFM. So I think that's one of the major change, just as Sahani told. But I also like to highlight few changes that I see. The first one is, of course, the technical people who are behind the camera. So it was, I would say, not only me, even before, like for the past 6 years, even before me, it was the same person who was handling the technical. So when I say technical, it's the videography part and the whole part where you launch this thing online and stuff. It was outsourced, yeah. So what I see new here is that students of IIT are handling this, and that which is very impressive in my point. And I feel like this should be the ultimate goal of CuttingEdge, because it's all about identifying our own talents and showcasing them to the world or to the community. So I feel like that is one major change. And there is also a few other changes I noticed. Just like what Sahani said, the amount of students, the amount of buildings you have, and but it's not really directly relating to CuttingEdge. But what I wanted to say is that there are different people who are in different building, but still they are all working together in CuttingEdge as one, right? And also, I would like to assume that your budget would have also increased. I'm not really sure. It's for the organizers to decide, but yeah, everything is still, everything has changed so rapidly, I would say, because back in the days it was not like this. It was, so to begin with, the whole purpose of Cutting Edge was to begin as an exhibition or as an exhibition of IIT talents. But today, Cutting Edge is very different. We have gaming competition, we have coding competition, there is exhibition, and there is iTV, a lot of things playing around. So I feel like I would say indirectly or directly, the Sri Lanka situation also have paved path, because from IFM turned to iTV, and when it came to iTV, then again our students got ideas. Why not only, why do we have to do only webinars? Let's do some competition, let's do some recording, and let's launch it off. Because we are not doing anything, right? If it was physical, it will be just an exhibition. But now it has turned virtual. But what are we doing different? So this whole thought process has actually grown through the years, and today Cutting Edge is sitting there like it's a very massive project in my idea, because it's so massive, and the amount of work put in is also massive, and I see a lot of people working around on this, which is actually great. And I feel like you all are setting up a good example for the people who are joining the first year as well, because I feel like I would say this also paves way for the marketing aspect as well. But more than that, it's actually showcasing our talents, which I would like to highlight. So yeah, those are the changes, I would say.
What personal growth or learning experience have you gained by sharing Cutting Edge?
I think I already spoke to this before, but at the end of chairing Cutting Edge is when I realized that I could actually handle such a massive project and make sure that it goes smoothly. That experience is not something that would easily be like gotten later in life, right? It requires you to be diplomatic with the dean, with the academic staff, with the academic chair, with the students, with the volunteers, with the first year and foundation students who have just come into IIT and they don't really know anything about the culture or anything like that. It really showed me that I have I knew that I had that skill set, but it really showed out, I think, and that I was very comfortable in that position as well. Yeah, and that at the end of the day, when we were done with Cutting Edge, I think we had a closing show, and all of the committee members and volunteers and anyone who wanted to join would join, and we just talked, right? We just riffed off of each other, and then at that point is when I realized this project was a success, because we finished the project and we don't hate each other. We actually built bonds, and we found new friends, we met new people. Even Amani, who is chairing this year, she was a part of my Cutting Edge, I think the first year that she was at IIT. And I just met her, and it's we were constantly kept in touch, and things like that. I'm so proud to see Amani here, because you can see the thread of IIT when you keep going. And in 3 more years, Amani will have a thread to someone in first year right now. And those are the kind of things that you really gain from projects like this.
Right. So to talk about my experience, it was actually a learning curve for me, to be honest. I wouldn't say I was the best chair. I would never say that, because I made mistakes. But to this date, I agree and I accept the mistakes I did, and that's how I feel like that's the only way to move forward. When you make a mistake, you should accept. And but at the end of the day, again, what matters is that what have you done to correct that mistake. So for me, it was a bit new, because since day one, so I'm really good at this term called passing the ball. All right. So this is a very of course, Sahani might know. I mean, the term. So it's a most used term when it comes to these projects organized by some committee. We always say, just try to pass the ball, just try to pass the ball. I was really good at that. I was really good at that. I can own that. But here I didn't have anyone to pass the ball actually. So I have to. So if someone gets a problem and if they are trying to contact me, actually I'm in a position to solve their problem. So it actually helped me to, understand myself, and also to, think in a way so that rather than, diverting the problem or passing the ball to someone, it's always better to solve it. Okay, at the end of the day, you will at least get the satisfaction of solving a problem, right? So that is one thing which I learned. And the other thing is, of course, I met a lot of people, and I still remember the juniors who helped me. If you all are watching this, thank you very much for helping us in CuttingEdge 2022. I still remember you all. And apart from that, I feel like even today, I was really happy that I see familiar faces when I walk into IIT. So for me, it's like it's a gain for me, actually. I see this as a gain. Yeah.
What advice would you give to the future CuttingEdge chairs to ensure the event's continued success and growth?
I think the same advice that I gave to Thevyan, which is allocate the right people for the right job. And make sure that at the end of the day, you're getting something out of it too, in terms of like you're building bonds, and you are also like learning from the experience. Because whatever you might know up to this point, CuttingEdge is a whole other ball game. But it also changes so much for you when you share it. It's difficult to speak on it because there's a lot of things that are like private about being a CuttingEdge chair as well. But I think at the end of the day, if you get the opportunity, take it, 100% take it, and go forward with it. And like Thevyan said, you never know what you might be capable of. You might actually finally face the responsibility and do well with it. And you should give yourself the opportunity to do that.
So if you ask me, I would say, as far as I remember, the advice which Sahani gave me was don't take it. But no, jokes aside, but for the future people who are willing to take part in CuttingEdge, it's an amazing project. It's an amazing project where you can meet amazing friends. There are people who are still in link with the people who organized the project, because everyone come from different backgrounds. Just as I stated at the start, they come from different backgrounds, as in they come from different departments. They're doing different degrees. But at the end of the day, when it comes as a CuttingEdge committee, and later, this is the last project which you are going to work on before leaving IIT. And this is the last set of people you will be bothering before leaving IIT. So you should make sure that this whole process is a wonderful memory. That just because you do a project, just because this is getting aired, and just because you listen to what we are telling, it doesn't mean that you had the fair share of fun. It's all about you getting into the field and getting some experience, as well as getting the same fun. Because at the end of the day, I don't remember the problems. I do remember the problems, but I don't remember the problems much. But I remember the memories we made. Okay, and I feel like that is what is important.
So as we wrap up with our discussion, will you be able to share one memorable moment from when you chaired CuttingEdge? One single moment.
One single moment. I think there's this picture that we took, and it was the last day of CuttingEdge. We just got one day that we could meet physically because there were so many restrictions. And we all wearing like masks, and it's a ridiculous picture, but it's such a nice memory to have because that was the day that people that we had never met, we all finally met like in real life, and we're like, oh, okay, so we actually got these things done, like this is going well, like we did well. And that day was such a good day. And yeah, I think that would be the most memorable moment.
All right. I was actually thinking whether to tell this or not, but I feel like I should tell this. So during our CuttingEdge, there was this program called Walking Down the Memory Lane. Okay, it was basically 4 students from 4 departments. They have to share their experience on how they did. How was their journey in IIT? All were 4th years, and I was also a part of it. I feel like whatever the discussions we did there, if you all have time, just go and watch it. It will be as fun as this, don't worry. That's actually part 1 video, and this is the part 2 video. So don't miss it out. But yeah, if you have time, just go and watch it because I feel like the things we discussed there were basically the glimpse. It was a 1 hour or 30-minute show, but it was perfectly a glimpse of what we did from day one in IIT. And that particular program was really close to my heart because there was a lot of things discussed, and I personally know all the people who were part of that event as well. And apart from that, by doing that program, there were so many repercussions. So I would never forget that. So yeah, so that is one of my core memory from my cutting edge. And just to add to that, I have a core memory from Sahani's cutting edge as well. So when just for information, so when Sahani was chairing the project, I was in the organizing committee of iTV, IFM back in the days. So I mean, if you ask me why did I join the organizing committee, I think I told the answer when we were having a chat before. But yeah, but what exactly the memory was that we did a prank.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We did a prank on. It was like the day before cutting edge. We did a prank, and I was like, you know, I'm into this pranking people and all. I just do it for the fun of it, but I'm not a pro at it. But yeah, I can do good in pranking people. So actually, there were only few people, and we started it as a joke. Okay, there was only 5 people on the call, and we started it as a joke. And then one by one, we started adding people into the call. Like we added this guy who was in charge of souvenirs, and we were like, hey, the press said that they can't print this much of souvenirs tomorrow. So what are we going to do? We have to distribute it. And then we called the person who was in charge of the technical team, and we were like, so the person who was, I told you, that same person who was doing for a lot of years, his name is Akila. So we said that in the call that, hey, Akila is telling that he can't come tomorrow. They have got a better project, so they are going there. So what are you going to do now? And then, so it was just a prank like that. And it went up to the point where there were 2 people who were in the names of, you know, the dean and the lecturer. And they were talking to students like they were the dean and lecturer. And actually, I don't know why they bought it, but they totally bought it. And it was a very good experience. So yeah, that was another core memory I would like to share with you guys. Yeah.
All right, so we will wrap up with our session. Thank you, Sahani and Thivian, for joining us today and spending your time with us. So to ITV viewers, we hope all these insights and experiences will be valuable to you. Thank you.
morning everyone and welcome to another exciting IEEE WIE event. I'm Hamrita Kanagram. Joining with us today, we have Ridma Palansurya, the esteemed webmaster of IEEE WIE. Ridma is a remarkable leader who has spearheaded many initiatives to empower women in engineering. So starting off with, can you tell us a little bit of your journey in engineering and what led you to become the webmaster of IEEE WIE Club?
Thank you, Hamrita, for giving this amazing opportunity. So, yes, I started my IEEE journey back in 2022. So, first I have volunteered in IEEE student branch, and one of my friends just came to me and asked, hey, there's an event called Code Sprint, shall we volunteer for that? So we, both of us have had, both of us applied for that, and luckily we both got into there. And then I have volunteered in IX, IEEE Adahare, and so Code Sprint 7 is a collaborative event with IEEE student branch and CS chapter and Women in Engineering Affinity group. So in there I got contacted with Kimberly, who was the chairperson in that year. So she reached out to me and asked, hey Ridma, there is a volunteering opportunity, there's a event called PyHack, are you willing to volunteer for that event, particular event? So I said, yes, I can. And so in that PyHack event, I was the registration lead there, and I have, that was my first WIE event I have volunteered in. So now I have I became the webmaster for this particular year, 2023-2024, and now I'm the information management coordinator for the IEEE Students Activities Committee in Sri Lankan section as well. So I can, not limited to this university, IIT, so I can contribute to IEEE for entire Sri Lanka.
Thank you for sharing us about your journey, Ridma. So, how does the club strive to create a welcoming and inclusive environment for women from all backgrounds in engineering?
So, when it comes to WIE, we are a family, so we are very friendly people. So, and of course, we do events, and there are technical focused events, techie events, but of course there are funny events like Sherlock. I think you all know aware about Sherlock, and there is a thing I have to highlight. So most of people think that WIE is only for women. So I want to mention that it was not only for women. So it's only for everyone who is willing to empower women in engineering. So that's it.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Can you elaborate on a specific program or event that had been particularly successful in empowering women in engineering within the chapter?
Yeah, so within the chapter we have several events. So last year also we had PyHack 2.0 second edition. And when it comes to this year, we did a collaborative event with UCSC. So it's called Fall Code, which empowers school girls to enhance their creative thinking and problem solving abilities. Yes.
That's very nice to give an opportunity for young girls like that. So are there any upcoming initiatives or projects that the club is particularly working on or excited about right now?
Yeah, so we have 2 events coming up within these coming 3 months. So one is a collaborative event again with KDU. So it's mainly about WIE Day. And next we are planning to have our third edition, our flagship event, PyHacks third edition. So that's the mainly the project lineup. And when it comes to PyHack, so we are planning to have a series of workshops and series of creative problem solving questions, and there might be we are planning to have it as a like a gamific manner this year. So yeah, we'll see.
Very exciting to hear about it. Now, as a webmaster, what are the key goals you have set for this IEEE WIE this year?
So when it comes to this year, as I mentioned before, we have done 2 collaborative events with state universities. One is with UCSC and another one with KDU. So the main focus is like making good networking opportunities, giving volunteers a good, better volunteering opportunity. So they can gain experience and they can work with each other. So different cultures are there. So that's the main thing we are focusing this year. Yes.
All right. Okay. So, what are some of the biggest challenges you face in leading the IEEE WIE chapter, and how do you possibly overcome them?
Yeah, so when it comes to challenges, so the main biggest challenge we are facing now is finding sponsorships. So there are many projects happening here and there. So we have to stand out from them, right? So we have to plan them like we can do it better, and they have giving them an idea how they will get benefit from our project. So that's a very challenging thing for us. So we have to maintain our quality over quantity of our project. So yeah.
All right. Okay. So, how do you think students can leverage the resources offered by IEEE WIE to provide for their future careers, prepare for their future careers?
So when it comes to their careers, so they have to go to the industry in future, right? So when it comes to industry, there are lots of competition there. So they have to stand out of them, and yeah. So then WI helps them to select in a better career path while giving them we are a friendly environment, so we have a giving them we have organized several projects to last year also we had one Minerva. So those kind of projects we are giving them a guidance how they can select their career path and what are the things they have to focus on and those kind of things. And when it comes to that's it.
IEEE WIE plays a vital role in inspiring and supporting women in engineering. In your experience, what advice would you give to young women considering a career in this field?
So when it comes to engineering field, there's lots of men's over women's. So it's a myth in society, and most of parents thinks that girls should not there, and so that's not the thing. So if you are capable of doing something, if you have a courage of doing that thing, and you are truly interested in that field, you can go to engineering. And when it comes to WIE, we are here to guide you all. So girls so afraid to confront. So make sure you are always heard and valued within this industry. So that's the thing. Main thing I want to mention. Like, don't get afraid. You have to speak up for yourself and for women, as a favor for women actually. So that's the thing.
Okay, great to hear that. Ridma Palansuriya, this has been a truly inspiring interview. We are incredibly grateful for your leadership and dedication. Thank you once again for joining us today.
Thank you, Amrita.
Hello everyone, welcome to another engaging interview session. I'm Hannah Ajwad and today we have the pleasure of meeting the PR team leader Vinuji Disania and the Vice President for Marketing, Bimsara Madhura Peruma, a distinguished representative of the ISAC Club here at IIT. So Vinuji and Bimsara, can you briefly introduce the ISAC Club and your main roles?
Hi, so I'm Bimsara. I'm the Vice President for Marketing at ISAC in IIT. And
So hi, I'm Vinuji Dilania and I'm the PR team leader for ISAC in IIT.
Can you tell me about the main objectives of the ISAC Club?
so ISAC is a leadership-based organization where we work towards enhancing cross-cultural experiences. So basically what we do is we send people abroad for internships as well as volunteering experiences. At the same time, we also bring people down here, mostly focused on the youth below the age of 30. So mainly that's what we do. So it's, to sum it up, we enhance leadership among the youth via cross-cultural relationships.
Thank you. And what is this hype about recruiting new members? I got a few emails regarding that.
Yeah, sure. So these days we are recruiting new members for our new winter intake. So that's why you got those emails. So after the interviews are finished, we are going to conduct an induction for the freshers. And so if you haven't applied yet, you can apply through that email. And so also if you have applied, please make sure to attend the interviews and join with us.
That's interesting. And how would you describe the culture here at the ISAC Club?
I can tell we have a very unique and rich culture inside IIT. We have unique traditions like roll calls. So I guess you have seen where the video clips where ISAC members dance to various music. So that's what you call the roll calls. In every event we do that, like to break the ice, and in every initiative group there are unique roll calls for them.
Oh, I see. That's a vibrant community. So I heard this event called the Global Village. Can you tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, so Global Village is an event where we, as I said, we bring people to Sri Lanka, foreigners, like for experiences. And as ISAC and IIT, we can hold an event called a Global Village, which is like a big event. Usually around 2,000 people attend it. Like, we can bring all the people from those countries. We can share their stories. They share their stories. We share our stories. We have stalls for like different countries that they come from. So we can talk. We meet new people every day, and that's what we do there.
Oh, that's fantastic. Do you conduct workshops or training sessions for students? If so, what are some of the topics that you cover?
So training sessions in the sense, we have conferences, right? So this t-shirt, it's a NatCon t-shirt. So NatCon is an event, it's the national conference of ISAC, where every ISAC member in Sri Lanka gets together. So last time it was actually held in Polonnaruwa. It was a 3-day event. We had a lot of fun there. Like that, we have another one called the Expansion Conference, the XCon. So like we have many conferences like that. Other than that, we also have other leadership-based events. Like recently we had one called Youth Speak Forum. ISAC in IIT organized one called Free Mind and CEO. So those were a few events we do. So we do mostly leadership-styled events. So yeah.
That's great to know. What are the club's main areas of focuses in its activities and projects?
So yeah, as Bimsar explained, we exchange participants with foreign countries. So to do that, we have two main functions called OGT and OGV. OGT means outgoing global talent, and OGV means outgoing global volunteer. And in outgoing global talent, we seek for candidates who are eligible to apply for opportunities we get from other foreign ISAC communities, and in volunteering thing we look for candidates who are willing to volunteer in countries like Egypt, Turkey and so on. So there they have to go volunteer with the projects ongoing in those countries, and that's what's happening in volunteer. And apart from that, we also have many other leadership programs, as Bimsara mentioned earlier. Like last year we had something called Idea Nova and Evolution of AI. They are mainly IT based projects, as since we are an IT based university, we conduct events like that, so to enhance the leadership skills of the students and also their IT based knowledge. So that's what's happening.
Oh, it's lovely to see such dedication. What are the club's upcoming goals?
So actually, I talked about bringing people to Sri Lanka. So currently, ISAC in IIT is an initiative group, right? So we can, if we do many, exchanges, like if we bring a lot of people down here, we can actually get promoted to an official expansion. Then we can bring people down to Sri Lanka as well. So for the moment, we can only send people, sorry, but once we become an OE, we can bring a lot of people down to Sri Lanka, since Sri Lanka is like a blooming tourist destination as well. It's a really marketable field. So our main focus is to do as much successful exchanges as possible within this year, and hopefully become an official expansion where we'll be operating on our own. So currently we operate under the supervision of ISAC in Colombo North. So after this, we'll be able to be independent and do our own exchanges. So
Those plans sound very promising. What are some biggest challenges the club has faced and how have you overcome them?
Actually, so talking about exchanges, it's actually we have to do a certain number of exchanges every year to keep our membership. So like I can't remember the exact amount, but we need to successfully complete we call it a realization, right? Someone going abroad, completing the experience or the internship and coming back, it's called a realization. So we need to have a certain number of realizations every year. We also need to raise a certain amount of money via events. So sometimes it's challenging, sometimes it's not that hard, but we were able to manage it in the past years.
It's inspiring to hear about these overcoming challenges. Can you share your personal experience with the ISAC Club and what has been the most rewarding aspect for you?
Talking about a rewarding aspect, so I remember the first day I joined ISAC, I went home on the train thinking, what did I join? Because I was blown away by the culture. I never expected something like that by like ISAC. I thought it would be a technical kind of club, something, but I never expected ISAC to be something like it was that day. So the traditions, the customs, the event, the whole event of the first day, it blew me away. And as a rewarding aspect, I think the next year, during the next induction, we were organizing it. So giving that to the new members was a really rewarding aspect for me. So, yeah.
So I was in that induction conducted by them in the later year. So that was in my personal experience also, I never expected something like that. That was a total different experience for me. Like the culture is so different, and I was so happy that I took very great decisions about joining it with ISAC. So, and I think with this club I can enhance my leadership and communication skills, and also I got to work with many foreign members, and that expand my knowledge about the foreign cultures and how to work with them, and all the professional ethics, and also I'm really glad about this.
That's inspiring. Finally, what advice would you give to students considering to join the ISAC Club?
You all are welcome to start off. Expect the unexpected, I'll say that, because actually I joined ISAC thinking it would be like a leadership kind of thing where we speak and all that, but it turned out to be much more. So you all are welcome, and get ready for a time of enjoyment and yeah, a lot of fun.
So, yeah, so if you haven't joined with us yet, make sure to join with us in the next intake. So, you will never regret this, I can guarantee that. And so, please join with us and have fun.
Thank you for your valuable insights, Vinuji and Bimsara. We truly appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. We wish you and the Isaac Club continued success in all your endeavors. To everyone tuned in, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this interview and found it informative. Stay tuned for more exciting content.
It all started in 1948, after the Second World War, where a group of young people determined that the ability to understand each other's cultures was essential to prevent similar conflicts in the future, and hence achieving peace became a cornerstone of the organization. In today's context, peace doesn't just mean avoiding war, but can symbolize a world where conflict doesn't arise from cultural, religious, or other aspects of differences in humanity. Peace can also symbolize harmony with yourself and a world where everyone can work towards their own understanding of peace while respecting each other's views and striving to become the best version of themselves. Hence, ISEC's why is peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. We place our confidence in youth as the key to unlock a better future because they have the passion and the entrepreneurial spirit needed to shape the world. They have the responsibility to improve tomorrow by shaping today. We believe that leadership is the fundamental solution for a better world, and it can be shaped in anyone, even you. ISEC is a platform for young people to explore and develop their leadership potential. ISEC's leadership development model seeks to prepare you to take a stand for what you care about while making a difference through everyday actions. Self-awareness, empowering others, solution orientation, and world citizenship. This is the leadership that we believe in and develop. We enable young people to develop their leadership through learning from practical experiences in challenging environments. We do this through cross-cultural exchanges and by creating these opportunities. We allow young people to work and volunteer abroad in non-familiar environments that allow them to step outside of their comfort zone and broaden their worldview while contributing to the community that they are living in. ISEC's members work in teams that manage their cross-cultural exchanges, which gives them the opportunity to live powerful team experiences and develop their own leadership potential. We believe young people learn best from doing and reflecting on their experiences and hence provide them with the framework of the inner and outer journey. Can you imagine what would happen if we engaged and developed every young person in the world? This is the question that drives us as we strive to achieve peace and fulfillment of humankind's potential. ISEC is global, independent, non-political, a not-for-profit youth-run organization. We do not discriminate on the basis of gender, sexual orientation, disabilities, creed, or religion, nor on the basis of national, ethnic, or social origin. Our values are striving for excellence, demonstrating integrity, enjoying participation, acting sustainably, activating leadership, and living diversity. This is the ISEC way, our guide for every ISECer to understand what is the purpose of our existence and the unique way of how we are achieving it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gaman, for having me at this show today. And to all of you out there, I said hi. All right. Okay, now, first of all, I will start with this opening statement of mine. I came and I was up there, and while seated, they said, it's 30 years for IIT. And I suddenly started feeling really old because I joined IIT when it was 5 years into business. So I joined IIT in 1995 and it was called IICS at that time. And I'm just going to share my story and experience at IIT and how it really helped me. So I was very good in school up to grade 11. I did my work very well. I was in the top of my class. And then after grade 11, I started to do a lot of extracurricular activities. A lot of extracurricular activities. And because of that, I could not get into a Sri Lankan university, though I had the capacity and the capability to do so, because I was doing a lot of other activities. And my father, he couldn't afford to really send me abroad as well at that time. And one of my friends came and said, there's a place called IICS, and they do offer a UK degree, and api amuda macha. I didn't know what IICS was at that time, and this was in school. I was in school uniform. And I went home, and my father and my mother were a little bit unhappy because I couldn't get into a Sri Lankan local university. But I said, there's a place called IICS. But things, really turned to be much harder because I wanted to do commerce and business, and they were offering the business degree, and this was the first year, the experimental year. So I was from the first batch of business. And we had a small class of 14 of us, and we are still friends to date. So we were the first experimental guinea pigs, and my father, for some reason, I said, I'm going to try this out, because I went for an open day, and it proved to be very good. And we had a teacher who had come down from UK, from the principal university, and එකපාරටම දැන් මං තාත්තට ගිහිල්ලා කිව්වා තාත්තා එතන ගොඩක් ඉන්නේ උගන්නන්න සුද්ධෝ කියලා. So that was the first experience that I had in coming to IIT, and IIT really helped, but then it was our Sri Lankan professors and Sri Lankan tutors who were much, much better than that Suddha, I must say. We learned a lot of them. And then what happened was, I came into IIT, and we didn't have stagecraft at that time. I think stagecraft was born, or stagecraft actually really initiated about 4 years after my stint at IIT. We used to sing in the classrooms and do a lot of things, but I must tell you, this opportunity that you guys have got is golden. As you know, Bhatia and Santush, we love art, we are passionate about art, and we took up art as our full-time job. And also, when we got into art and started doing it as our full-time job, we realized that the copyright law in this country literally does not exist because of certain problems. We do have a law on paper, but then it's not enforced. So we were thinking, should we go back to our like our friends did, should we go back to the conventional jobs in the corporates, or should we continue doing this after about 2 years? But because of the education at IIT, which opened our minds, opened us up to this world of new opportunity and showed us the way, one day we thought, okay, we learned something in class. In our second year, we learned how to integrate backwards into our own business. And that backward integration, that was a 1 week module that we learned, and that was an eye-opener for us. And the education suddenly kicked in, and we were like, let's integrate back into our own business, which was arts. So then we started a small company, and we started audio, and then that company grew, and then we went into events, we went into a lot of others, and now I'm proud to say, because of the IIT education, which opened our minds up, we are literally, in terms of the entertainment industry, we are quite a big corporate. We are a group of companies who we give permanent employment to nearly 150 people, and we have another 50 to 60 people who work on contract. And in Sri Lanka, in terms of entertainment, in every nook and corner we are there, and that is because of IIT. I think, Mr. Gamini Wickramasinghe, your great vision at that time, everybody should give him a big round of applause for giving that opportunity for students like us who came from Sri Lankan families, people who served in the government, and people who did honest jobs, who couldn't send their children out. And also people who wanted to keep their children with them in the country and still give an education. This was a golden opportunity for us, and I am one of the first students from when you really executed, or when you really went and implemented your vision. And there are so many of us. Anywhere that you go, in Australia, in so many places, you get top IIT grads doing really well, and every time you meet them, you're like, "Ame ape ekek neda." And the best part of it is, though your paper qualification is from somewhere else, your teachers are from this country, and you're groomed in this country, and you get the opportunity to stay with your friends, your family, and still get that same education and the exposure that you get. And that was a part of our success, and that has been an instrumental part of our success. And to be around for 20 years and to be on top of your game, that's not merely to do with the arts. You need to have a lot of strategy in it as well, and that has really helped us. And thank you very much, IIT, my old teachers from IIT, and Mr. Wickramasinghe, the whole family, and IIT as an institute. I'm really thankful and grateful for that. 20 years ago, I literally passed out of the institute 21 years ago. Now you know how old I am. So 21 years ago, I passed out as a graduate, and that really helped me and Santosh to really grow as a business, as an entity, and as two artists.
When you think of a university, you think of buildings, piles of books, racks, words, numbers, long hallways, and desks. But for us, it's actually a place where we connect with people, with whom we learn and grow together. At Informatics Institute of Technology, we don't always know where we are headed, but we are here to find our paths. With us, more than 3,000 undergraduates across the globe have shared the roofs of IIT. Our degrees are offered from world-renowned universities, University of Westminster and Robert Gordon University.
Informatics Institute of Technology has been delivering British degrees for over 2.5 decades. Our goal has been to produce graduates who are highly skilled, innovative, employable, and who can compete in an international arena. Our curriculum and our lecture panel and the extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities that we provide at IIT facilitate in grooming such graduates. Today our graduates are holding significant positions in the business and in the IT arena.
When I first joined IIT, I was a little persistent whether I could handle the workload, but with the immense support from IIT and the guidance from my lecturers, it was very easy. In the computer science degree, you are given the choice of multimedia, mobile and web development, and games development. I wish to choose game development because it has high promise in the future.
IIT supports not only to excel our studies, it helps to improve our talents and skills. And also we are participating CuttingEdge, Business and IT exhibition, and the Stagecraft, the annual talent show, which we can showcase our talent. So I'm really glad to join with IIT because it molds myself to be a better corporate personality.
The best part of this degree program is the one-year industrial placement. So it's basically where all the students who studies at IIT gets the opportunity to work at a certain company where it can be a business or IT organization. And the most important aspect of this internship program is that we get the chance to work with new cutting-edge technology. So when we come back to IIT for our final year, it's like we are fully equipped with knowledge to do our final year project.
At IIT, we revolutionize education. We believe in a wholesome education which molds a student into a responsible and active citizen. Modern lecture halls, computer labs, library, and pool facilities are provided to enrich our curriculum. The life of a student at IIT is filled with a long list of extracurricular activities.
The master's program is able to cater to the rapidly advancing demands in the software industry today. I'm sure the master's program at IIT will help me develop in my career.
I'm a person who constantly wants to improve my skills and knowledge and to differentiate myself from others. So while I was looking for such opportunities, I came across with this program by IIT, MSc in Business Analytics, affiliated to Robert Gordon University, Scotland.
Big data, the latest technology, the biggest wave in the coming IT. Where do you get that in Sri Lanka? How can you learn it? IIT. That is where I found them tying up with Robert Gordon University in UK to offer the best of the courses that you can find in big data. And I'm very proud to say that I made the right choice to do it.
The sports teams of IIT have been playing in national arenas and making the IIT name proud with numerous achievements. We believe these achievements add value to a balanced education that we promote at IIT.
The 4-year degree program I went through at IIT enabled me to be a successful corporate leader, then an entrepreneur. Not only as a product of IIT, but giving back to IIT as a visiting lecturer, I see the support given to the student by the institute and the lecturers to mold them as better personalities who will fit the corporate arena and also to become successful entrepreneurs.
I'm very proud to say that IIT helped me immensely during the past few years to build my business in terms of giving me all the knowledge and the support. And I'm also very thankful to IIT for making me a successful entrepreneur today.
Today I'm a proud graduate. The past 4-year journey at IIT has indeed been a memorable and a wonderful one. IIT has helped myself to achieve extensive heights in both academics and extracurricular activities. The experience and exposure I've gained through all these activities has made myself to achieve a high demand from the industry by the time of my graduation.
Life at IIT is changing every second. You are not the same person you were a moment ago. You are one step ahead in knowledge, experience, and life every second at IIT. Join IIT to find, shape, and lead your future.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of iTV Exclusive. Today we have a past alumni of IIT, Mr. Ammar Ranis, and today we will be walking through what our final year students are focusing on, which is the final year project. Mr. Ammar, why not you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi. So I graduated actually last year, 2023. I'm currently working as a software engineer at 99X. So the reason I'm here is, I guess, because I was the project topper last year. Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay. Ammar, can I call you Mr. Ammar or Ammar?
No, don't need Mr.
Okay. Yeah. So Ammar, why not you just walk through as of why you wanted to do IT, why did you join IIT, what were you doing before that, a little bit of your school life?
Yeah, sure. So I honestly did chemistry for A-levels, not computer science. And after finishing A-levels in math, physics, and chemistry, I thought there was not really a potential future in this field. So I just dabbled into IT and coding just to see what would be of it, right? There was a long time duration between my A-level completion and the results being obtained. So within that few months, I wanted to see what coding actually was. And by doing that, some sort of interest spiked. So that was the entire reason I thought, okay, might as well choose this because I'm not entirely sure what to go forward with. Yeah, that is how it started.
Okay, great. So you said since there was a time between the results were released, you did coding from yourself. Was it self-learned or?
Yeah, it's all self-learned.
How is the journey of self-learning?
So I honestly think self-learning is the way forward in IT domain because you cannot rely on lecturers to teach you everything. So as long as you have interest and some sort of passion, you will succeed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think passion plays a main part in the coding field, especially when it comes to coding or IT in general?
Okay. Some people say passion is an illusion, right? But I honestly think it is not the most important factor as well because some people just do it for having a future, earning some money, right? But just because of that doesn't mean you will have a successful future because in order to succeed in this domain, you'll have to do more than you should do. So in order for you to have the need to do more, you need to have some sort of passion. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it is the most important thing, but it also does have some sort of importance. Yeah.
Okay, great. So walking into your student years in IIT, were you involved in any sort of extracurricular activities other than studies? How would you perceive?
So I wouldn't say studies as extracurricular, right? So I was very into Toastmasters because ever since first year, second year, third year was internship and fourth year. During second year, I was the sergeant at arms in Toastmasters, right? So I think Toastmasters really helps you in expressing what you want to say inside. Because when you come to the industry also, you can't stay silent as many people do here, right? Even when lecturers ask you questions, you'll have to talk out. So when you come to industry, when you face interviews, the importance of talking really shows, yeah? So yeah.
Okay, great. Toastmasters, and we came across a few people who were prominently a part of Toastmasters and how Toastmasters have been a part of their lives. Do you think that sort of helped you, or it's just a extracurricular activity that you love doing?
So I wouldn't say it helped me most importantly, right? But it did have some sort of impact. The thing is, being able to show confidence and stuff like that is something you will gain naturally through Toastmasters, but also by doing any sort of activity, you gain confidence and leadership skills. So I wouldn't say Toastmasters is the main thing, but as long as you are involved in some extracurricular, that would be beneficial.
Okay. So moving into your third year in your internship year, where did you work at your internship and
So
how was your
internship
internship?
was also in IT. So internship experience was mostly online because it was COVID year for us. So 2020 was all online. But even though it was online, it was quite great, to be honest. They treated us like friends. So as long as you shine and have some sort of standout feature about yourself, you will be able to do well in your internship.
Okay. Moving on, this is why we are here for, about final year. So tell us about a little bit of your final year project and how did you generate that idea to present it to the year?
So I had to, for any sort of pitch, I had to shorten my idea to like one sentence, which is very difficult to do because even I don't know how to do that because the title itself is like a sentence long. So the shortest thing I can say is about making time series forecasting itself more advanced. That is the entire idea behind it. Yeah.
Okay. So how is your experience in making this idea into reality by implementing it, and your experience in managing your work, other modules along with the final year, the time management? How did you do it?
Yeah, okay, that is probably the most difficult question. managing time is going to be a very, very terrible task to do in your final year because, to be honest, I was also working part-time with another company, so managing time is the most important thing, right? So the way I did this was you had 2 separate semesters, for semester 1, semester 2. I chose the optionals only in semester 2, and I did the entire FYP in semester 1. So that was why I told you a while ago I published my paper in January.
Yeah.
So in semester 1, I just had FYP and applied AI. So semester 2 had cybersecurity, 2 optional modules, and mobile iOS. So by the time second semester started, I had already done majority of FYP. So that was where some sort of relief comes, because if you think you can do everything at once, you can't. So yeah, as long as you have ability to manage time, you'll be able to succeed well. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of how you have successfully, I mean, at least partly successfully managed to publish it on January, how was your colleagues' reactions? Like, I think that was way forward than the given deadline.
Okay, yeah. So that was the first paper of my batch to come out, right? Because that was around January. The first initial submission was in December, and the pitch, or whatever we call it, was in February. And the paper came out in March. So the advantage was you already have the DOI before your final submission. So as a flex, I was able to reference myself in my thesis. Right? So that was a big advantage, because if you have a submission or a paper by the time you have your final FYP submission, there's no way a lecturer in your Viva can question you. If they ask why as in it's literally published. That is the entire reason, right? So my entire idea was coming out with a new mathematical formula. So without extensive validation, there's no way you can prove it works correctly.
Yeah.
So I published that along with the paper, and it was accepted. So no one can question the validity, right? So yeah, that was my entire technique.
Okay. Speaking of your idea itself, why did you wanted to create such a project rather than some people might have gone to a different sort of domain? Why did you remain into generating something really new to the field? And also as a student, which is the entire field is entirely new. So how did you, why and how?
Okay, so in 2020, it was the year of GANs, Generative Adversarial Networks. Now it's Gen AI, right? So the initial step was, okay, I don't want to do something what everyone else is going to do, which is NLP or GAN. And I saw something called liquid neural networks. I had no idea what that was. I just looked into it, and okay, it caught my interest, and yeah, it happened.
Oh, wow. It's really impressive for someone who is in college to think of something really advanced. And then how do you think your supervisors supported along the way? Was it entirely the supervisors? Was there any support or vice
Okay,
versa?
so people usually tend to rely on the supervisors 100%. That is not the way to go, because he is just a person who is going to mentor you, not teach you, right? So my initial idea was honestly expanded through his help, but that doesn't mean he gave me the idea, right? I had an initial thought process on what I want to do, but then towards December, he told me to contact some lecturer or professor in Australia. And by contacting him, I was able to expand the domain. So yeah, he did play some role in me getting what I got at the end. But I wouldn't say he is the entire reason why I did this, because he has an impact, but not what you expect him to do, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
So what sort of advice would you give for final year students who are doing their final years, especially knowing that procrastination plays a major part of their student life?
Yeah, so procrastination is something none of us can run away from. But what I would say is try and start as soon as you can. But I'm not going to tell you to start in June, July itself. I honestly started in October. But although I know our lecturer tells us start in July, because it's about you being able to manage your time, right? You know how you can do your work. You know about yourself more than I do, right? And I know about myself more than anyone else does. So I just thought, okay, the best way is to start now and do as much as I can. That was why I also wanted to finish as much in semester 1, because I didn't want to put everything in the second semester. So the main advice to anyone who's going to do FYP is pick a topic that you have interest on. If not, you can search and find something. Start as soon as you think you should. Do not push it. Procrastination will come. It's okay, because you will have to procrastinate something, because if you don't procrastinate, sometimes you would honestly lead to burnout if you keep working all the time. So yeah, manage your time. That is the most important factor here.
Great. So how did you think, like, what was the feeling that you received when you received for one of the best projects that was published here in IIT in your year?
Okay, so this, it was Gugsi who told me this. He told me, he just randomly messaged me on Instagram. He was like, hi, you need to give me a treat. Okay, why? Then, okay, fine, let's go for dinner tonight. Then he pulled out his laptop and he just showed me, just go. I didn't have a sudden positive reaction, but okay, fine. I didn't expect such a high score, to be honest. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, hard work does pay off.
Yeah. And how do you think your life after graduation, what's your life right now?
Yeah, so again, I was called back by 99X. I didn't even have an interview. So because of internship performance and the final year performance, they just told me to come back and apply. I didn't apply, they just took me in. So it's been going well so far.
Okay, great. Any last advices for these students who are looking into going into the IT field or anything forward?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, all I can say is hard work and perseverance pays off. But don't think that you can do everything you can, because sometimes you would notice that at the end of the day, negative shortcomings can impact you in a weird way, right? So also don't be always optimistic, because sometimes it is about being realistic also. I'm not telling this to be negative. I'm just telling you to be cautioned and be warned, because it is not as you expect it to be. It is not all rainbows, right? Sometimes it is also a rainy day. So at the end of the day, do your best and good luck. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Amar, for being with us today.
Thank you
Have
for
a
having
good
me.
life.
Thank you.
IIT Business School has always been different in offering business courses blended with IT technology, because we always believed technology will be the driver of future business. Hence, aptly, our mission been named as Business School of Future. So we want to expand on our success and to offer the futuristic business courses for everyone. So we have a lot of school students here, the future of the business community in Sri Lanka. And also these kids will grow up to be the global business leaders, not only in Sri Lanka.
Today, that IIT management is decided to raise the standards of the business education, and they uplift the business department to a business school because of the number of programs, and considering everything and the demand, they raise it up to a business school today. So with that, maybe we would be able to market well our programs, and we hope that to do a greater jobs in the future.
sort of think of our education that we provide at the business school as a transformation experience. So you have a student who is just coming out of school, whether with just O-levels or after A-levels, and this student has to be transformed into a professional who is going to work in the business. Not only the business of today, but they got to be working in the businesses of the future. And this is why we think of IIT as the business school of the future, because we are unlike many of the other business schools that have been around in the country for a long time, who have a certain tradition or certain compartmentalization in what they do. We look at business as something holistic with a multidisciplinary approach, and our focus is on preparing people for the businesses of the future.
Hi everyone, welcome to Cutting Edge 2024. My name is Senuti and here I have Daniel and Dylan with me today from our fantastic choir at IIT Vocal Impact. Thank you for joining with me today, both of you. So let's start with a brief introduction about yourself and your role in the choir.
Okay, so my name is Daniel Lakshman. I'm a fourth year computer science student and I am the current choir leader of Vocal Impact.
Hello, I'm Dylan Pereira. I am a fourth year AIDS student and I'm the assistant choir leader of Vocal Impact.
So can you give us an overview of what Vocal Impact is all about?
So Vocal Impact is a choir made up of anyone who wants to join the choir, basically. So we are a bunch of bathroom singers who are working together to make some nice music.
Right. I am personally thinking of joining myself. So what kind of music does Vocal Impact usually perform?
Well, we perform varieties of music of any kind, to be fair. We actually do music of all languages if it's possible and if everybody is down to do it. So we don't have a specific genre of music that we do, but we prefer to do mostly the pop culture, music.
Right. So how can joining Vocal Impact affect you as a student yourself, as in any benefits?
Yeah, so benefits, of course, academically, of course, not much. One thing it will help academically is you get to blow off a lot of some steam at uni, and also that's the main thing that we get. You get a break from all the studies that are there in university.
True, that's very true. As a student, I get it. The pressure is a bit much. So moving on. So what events do you all take part in during the academic year?
So we have mostly taken part in the carol service that is normally at the end of December, as well as stagecraft, which is happening the IIT talent show, which happens annually. So apart from that, we just do karaoke nights for everybody in the choir, and have a good time with that, as well as graduation ceremonies. We go to sing the IIT anthem.
So how does one join Vocal Impact?
Just come for practice.
So when do you have practice?
So normally, currently, we have practices on the weekends, Saturday, I think from 12 to 5 or 9 to 5, depending on the requirements of what we have. But during, I'd say, the normal semesters, we normally used to have practice on Mondays from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m.
So any memories? So now you're graduating, so any memories inside the choir?
Well, there's a lot of memories. I'd say one for me personally would be the day of stagecraft, and while we were rehearsing behind in Elumpakuna, I think that was like one of like the most memorable moments for us, because the choir actually was sounding very nice, and we were also very surprised. And it was actually yeah, that was one of the most memorable moments for me as like the person who trains everyone. That is my most memorable moment. What about you?
Yes, for me, I would say that was a very memorable moment, because the choir really sounded really nice on that day, like right before we got on stage. It was really nice. Yes, that was very memorable.
So, as leaders of the choir, how do you all manage your studies and choir?
I mean, we have actually managed our studies very well. It's mainly because when it comes to like choir practice and stuff, we shut off everything else and we just focus on the choir and stuff like that. And when we are back, we focus on all of the academical stuff per se. But there's nothing special to that. It's just the mindset of just working when you're supposed to work and having fun when you're having fun.
All right, so thank you so much, Daniel and Dylan, for sharing all this valuable information about vocal impact. So it has been wonderful learning all about the choir. So if anyone wants to join the choir, please come for practices. As of now, it's on Saturday. Enjoy the rest of Cutting Edge.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to iTV's special segment for Cutting Edge 2024. I am Himaza Zahara, your host for this segment. Today, we are joined by Aaron Silva, the President, and Fadil Sabri, the Treasurer of the Data Analytics Club. It's a pleasure having you both here today, Aaron and Fadil.
Thank you.
To start off, could you both give us a small briefing of yourselves?
Well, my name is Aaron. I am the President of the Data Analytics Society.
And I am Fadil, the Treasurer of the Data Analytics Society.
All right. Moving forward to talking about your club, the Data Analytics Club. Firstly, can you share with us what the Data Analytics Club is all about?
Well, the Data Analytics Society is an up-and-coming club, I would say. Me and Fadil represent the second ever board that was elected. So what we focus on mainly is to get data analytics, or the term data analytics, out of the classroom and into the real world, to show that it's not a huge, a jargon that we should be afraid of. It's nothing that's complicated, but rather something that we see on a day-to-day basis. Even when we walk out in the streets, we can see data analytics. So what we want to do as a club is to make it more practical, I would say.
Yeah, that sounds really interesting. What are some initiatives you would consider as the most significant activities your club has worked on so far?
Well, I would say one of the main initiatives that we've done, like I've said before, we've actually made a lot of effort into getting rid of that stigma where data analytics is seen as something a big word you see on blogs or newsletters, but rather we want to make it something a lot more approachable, I would say. So I would say that would be a great initiative that we have focused on, making it more practical.
Yeah, that's really important. So how do you think these initiatives help the members of your club in their personal and professional development?
Personally, they get to meet different people, embrace different challenges, and they learn to work as a team. Professionally, they get to interact with various people from different industries. They get hands-on experience working with different tools and stay up to date with different trends in the industry.
Yeah, collaborating with people is indeed crucial. So what have been some of the club's hardest challenges and how have you overcome them so far?
Well, I would say one of the most challenging things about the club, and I wouldn't say has been, it is currently the most challenging thing that we are facing, is trying to maintain a proper structure within the club and its members, especially within the board. You know, it's tough as students, balancing studies, extracurriculars, and other personal commitments that are sometimes unavoidable. But in order to make sure that we strive towards our goal, something that we've been working on to overcome these issues is to have a lot of communication whenever we can. We always try to be on the same page when we talk about decisions, when we brainstorm. We always try to bring each other's ideas into the pool of ideas and then move forward with it. So I would say it's an ongoing process. Like I said before, we're just starting out, but I think we are making good progress with this regard.
That's amazing. Can you share a success story or a standout project that your club has done and that you're particularly proud of?
The first thing that comes to mind, or the most project that I as a president is proud of, is the Power BI project that we did. So it was quite the experience. It was the first project that we did as the new board, where we were balancing a lot of deadlines with coursework. We were struggling, staying up all night, trying to figure out different coursework deadlines, and at the same time trying to work around different commitments that we have towards the project itself. We had a lot of troubles with logistics, trying to get everyone and everything in order. But in the end, I would say it was a quite decent success. We had a fair turnaround of people. And surprisingly, we targeted the business school a lot. However, we were quite surprised to have an outstanding attendance of the AIDS students, which was quite unexpected, but a welcoming addition to the club. So I, as a president, and I know as the board itself, is quite proud of this project.
Yeah, that's some truly impressive achievements. How do you stay up to date with the trends in data analytics?
Primarily, our knowledge comes from our lecturers and also from internet sources like articles and videos. However, we have been able to meet different people from the industry, and they have been sharing invaluable insights. And additionally, now that we'll be entering the industry ourselves, we would be able to get hands-on experience and understand how the industry operates.
Yeah, that's good to focus on. So, what role do you think data analytics will play in the future of various industries?
I see a beautiful and growing future for the data analytics field. In Sri Lanka, it's still growing and it's still up and coming as yet. And there's a lot of cross-culture, cross-department collaboration that's going to be happening. And globally, with the advancement of artificial intelligence, I see a lot of real-time analytics being used, and that would be really interesting to be working on as well.
Yeah, that's a fascinating perspective on the future, and I think those possibilities are really exciting. So, what advice would you give to students that are entering the field of data analytics?
Well, if I were to give one advice, it would be self-learning. Just go out there, be curious, and just don't be afraid to mess up or divert a little bit from what you're doing, because like I said, we try to make it more practical. It's not a big jargon word that we are supposed to be afraid of. It's not something that we see on blogs, newsletters that we read and say, oh my God, it's somewhat difficult to understand. I don't know what this is. Data analytics is something, I would say, an everyday thing. You walk out on the street and you see it. And trust me when I say this, it's much more fun learning data analytics and the industry on your own and working towards it as a passion project rather than learning it from lectures. Because honestly, it's somewhat of a boring thing at the start. But however, learning it on your own, just having that curiosity about the subject is what I believe is the best, the best advice that I can give to anyone who's interested in the field.
Now, that's some encouraging advice. As we wrap up, what are your future plans as a club?
Since we are still an up-and-coming club, as Aaron mentioned, we would be sharing our knowledge and our resources with the next board, which we will be appointing soon. And we would be hoping to see many more educational sessions like the Power BI project that Aaron mentioned, as well as many more competitions, which I hope the next boards will carry out.
Yeah, that's an interesting direction for your club, and best of luck with all your future plans. Thank you, Aaron and Fadil, for being here. Best of luck with your future projects. And our viewers, thank you for tuning in. Hope you stay with iTV for future updates on Cutting Edge. Thank you.
Morning I get up, I can't barely stand on my feet. Take a look in the mirror and cry, oh Lord, what's you and me? I spent on my years believing you, but I just can't get no relief. God, somebody, can anybody find me? Somebody love. I work करम की करदाए दर्दे इधर भी तू निगाहे सुन रहा है ना तू रो रहा हूँ मैं सुन रहा है ना तू क्यों रो रहा हूँ मैं सुन रहा है ना तू रो रहा हूँ मैं सुन रहा है ना तू क्यों रो रहा हूँ मैं तेरे मंजिलें रुसवा है खोया है रास्ता आए लिए जाए कितनी सी इल्तिजा तू रूह की राहत है तू मेरी इबादत है अपने करम की करदाए दर्दे इधर भी तू निगाहे सुन रहा है ना तू रो रहा हूँ मैं रहा है ना तू क्यों रो रहा हूँ मैं मेरे मन ये बता दे तू किस ओर चला है तू या पाया नहीं तूने या ढूंढ रहा है तू जो है अनकही जो है अनसुनी वो बात क्या है बता गम पनि नि निसा 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 गम पदस दनी 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 निदा 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 नि पद 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 गम पनि निसा नि पमागा मितवा जीवन डगर में प्रेम नगर में जीवन नगर में प्रेम नगर में आया नजर में जब से कोई है तू सोचता है तू पूछता है जिसकी कमी थी हाँ ये वही है हाँ ये वही है हाँ ये वही है तू एक प्यासा और नदी है आहे कोई इसको तू खुल के बता दे जो है हम कही जो है हम सुनी वो बात क्या है बता मितवा काहे धड़कने तुझसे क्या मितवा तुझसे को ना तो छुपा मितवा मितवा නමෝ තෙදවරම් පස්වාන් දහසකර දිවස් කරුණාගෙන ගන්න යහපති ආයිබෝ සුරත වේලාව්‍ය දරාගෙන නනමය රාසනා රූඩෝ වෙල වසන තෙදලත් කන්ද කුමාර අනසක සීකර මෙසේ කියා සිරින වගනම් ඔබ වහන්සේගේ තෙද බලෙන් අනුහසින් ආයිබෝවා ආදරේ උරුමේද මඩ දුන්න ස්වර්ණ බාලියේ ශේකීර ධාරාවේ අපේ ඈත සේයාවේ ආදරේ උරුමයද මට දුන්නු ස්වර්ණ බාලියේ අබර දබර අබර දබේ අබර දබර අබර දබේ අබර දබර අබර දබේ අබර දබර අබර දබේ නෙමගින්න හිත පල්ලේ ඇලිලි ගියා පොඩ වැස්ස සංසාර ගිනිනුවේ ඉසුරු සරසන්න පිළිවෙත පුරා මංගාව ඔබ උන්නේ නෑ මේ බින්දුවේ දාවේ පාළුවේ අන්ද මායාවේ ආදරේ උරුමේද මඩ දුන්න ස්වර්ණ බාලියේ වංශී දීර ධාරාවේ අන්තේ ඈත සේයාවේ ආදරේ උරුමේද මට දුන්නු ස්වර්ණ බාලියේ දොරමට ලවට යන පියඹගෙන එන සැරි සරණ පඬු අබා කතවස්තුව මුල සිට අගට මෙන පතච්චේන කුමරි පඬුවස් නුවර රජ මයිසිකාව වද උල්මරුවරු දස් එකල ශ්‍රේණි ශිට දෙවි එකම් ගේගතික ගාමිත තව උපදින කුවරු නරු මම වරු පැමිණ බැඳ ගෙට බලන කල කුමරිගේ සිත ළඟ කුමරු නොව කුමාරෙල්ල ප්‍රතිචාවට මාරට අපලයි මම වරුන් දස දෙන හද දස දේශ සේන පිරිවරගෙන පැමිණ මානව කුංචි කොළු කැට තිය කෙරෙන්ට කුමරු ගස් බෙනේ එක සගම නරමිව නිහඬ හඬ ඔබි පිටුලේ දැතටගෙන සිතමින් මව්බිම මම සුරකි මව්බිමේ උරුමයට කැපවෙමි සුරති නොසිපත දරගෙන අදිටටගෙන ගිය සිහන් අත වතුර වවමින හෙළ ජය ගනිමින් සිපතේ දෙවරුනේ ප්‍රේමයයි උන්මාදිනියේ මාලයේ වෙගිරුනේ ස්නේහයයි දොර මඩුල ගිනි පත්වී එකිනි කඳ හද පත්වී ආදරේ උරුමයද මට දුන්නු ස්වර්ණ බාලියේ
Informatics Institute of Technology is the unmatched pioneer in conducting world-renowned British higher education in Sri Lanka since 1990. IIT has produced over 3,000 graduates that are empowering over 250 organizations around the globe. IIT offers a foundation program and internal British undergraduate degree programs such as software engineering, computer science with specialization pathways, business information system, and business management from University of Westminster, UK. At IIT, students are provided with an opportunity to gain work experience during the course of their degree. Many multinational and local blue chip companies have come forward to provide internship opportunities for IIT students. Join IIT and become the next great innovator or business leader. IIT will build your path to success.
Hello everyone, I'm Hamrita Selvaraja, and joining with us today is the Esports Secretary Hana and Games Manager Hansika. Thanks for joining us. The Esports Society is a fantastic community for all gamers of all levels to connect, compete and celebrate their passion for esports. Without further ado, let's get started. Hansika, can you tell us a bit about yourself and your history with esports?
I'm Hansika Senerana, the Game Manager for Genshin Impact at Esports IIT. Talking about my journey in gaming, I first off started by playing with my brother and then my friends, and then I met friends online and then played with them. After that, I started university, and then I saw this opportunity to contribute to the gaming community by joining the gaming society within our university, and then it led me to eventually be the game manager for the society and manage events and contribute to the society.
What about you, Hannah?
I'm Hannah Azhar. I'm the secretary of Esports Society in IIT. When it comes to my history with esports, I used to play games in PS4 most of the time. I prefer the journey type, like let's say Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption. Those are my type. And during the lockdown period, I used to connect with my cousins and I used to play. Well, most of the time it's not about the game, it's about family tea spilling while we're playing the game. Yeah, that's actually basically the history of it.
Thanks a lot, Tom. So can you give us a background on Esports Society?
The background, yeah. So when it comes to the history of esports, there was a society previously, but it disbanded for a reason. And my colleagues, who's the president at the moment, Gaurinape Vitanage, the vice president, Damita Veerasinghe, and myself, came up with a proposal and we presented it to our lecturer, Iresh Bandara. So he was a game enthusiast, and at the moment, like, he was in charge of game development. So what he did was he assisted us during the proposal and made sure the society was established. Yeah, that's the history for our society.
So what's your overall vision of society and how do you see it growing?
The vision. Yeah, so as for the vision, we want to represent IIT as like the esports society of IIT to be the best island-wide. Well, that's apparently the vision for almost every gaming society, right? So I think it's easy to go through the vision because most of the players in IIT are actually skilled. So, yeah.
So can you describe some of the ongoing activities and events, eSport?
Yeah, we have a range of events going on. We have playoff sessions to make members more engaging within the community, and we have a virtual event like GTA virtual car meetup, which is basically you can join the event and connect with members and hanging out with each other and have fun. And we have a dedicated team for content creating. They help us promoting our society and society's events. And we also help our players to participate in island-wide and inter-university tournaments. Yeah, those are the things going on.
So a lot of ongoing tournaments for a startup club. So how can students interested in esports get involved in the society?
For involvement, you can simply register to become a member. For registration, the registration is taking place once every university intake is taking place. After that, the process is pretty straightforward. You can simply fill out a form and we add them to the community based on the things they like and the games they play. After that, they can attend our events, university events or inter-university tournaments or anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So are there any upcoming tournaments or competitions planned?
Well, that's a good question. the game managers for the respective games usually come up with proposals saying that this game might go through this proposal, and like they come up with proposal and come up with events. And if it's actually good, what we do is we take that proposal to our lecturer in charge and go ahead and implement it. So for now we have an event planned for eFootball and FIFA. The game manager is working on that, and we have collaborative events with ISAC for mental health well-being, and most probably we focus on inter-unit tournaments, whatever comes ahead.
Okay, so we'll keep an update on the oncoming tournaments. So what are the biggest challenges you face as the Esports Society Secretary?
The challenges I face is time management and like working off my schedule, because it does not only involve my schedule, it involves 800 plus members and their schedules as well, where people can get busy and they might cancel on you, and like we don't blame. So working on that and the time management of that, that's the major issue I'm facing like at the moment. And peacekeeping within the society, that's actually a issue there.
Too many challenges for a secretary.
Can say that.
So on the flip side, what are some of the most exciting opportunities you see for society in the future?
In the future, I think the society would go smooth because we have really talented players, especially in Valorant and PUBG. So what we say is we get opportunities to face inter-unit tournaments and all of that, and IIT is also supporting us when it comes to inter-unit tournaments. So I think the exciting events would be those.
So thank you for sharing your insights today, Hannah and Hansika.
Thank you for inviting us.
So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and taking time off your busy schedule to be with us here today. We appreciate it. Once again, thank you, and we hope you have so many more success in future. To everyone tuned in with us, we hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned and stay with us. We have so much more exciting content just for you. Thank you.
You're in my domain, got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane, it's over before you know it. Why you shaking? We're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty, now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers.
Hello everyone, and that sums up of our day one exclusive of interesting panel discussions and dialogues that we will bring forward in the future. So
join us at iTV on day 2 as well. Hoping to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.